I bring is the love that I'll share. No man can take away the love I feel for you. Oh, when I look around and when I try to see, it's your love I know, girl, it means so much to me. Cut. Ain't nobody got time for that. This is the 19th episode of the Manhood Chronicles, and we're going to teach young men how to get the love that they deserve and how to look for key warning signs as we explore the art of love, which is the feelings of love versus the principles of love. Sit back and enjoy this class. We're about to amplify the mic once again as I'm your host, Seven Smalls, aka the Kosher Clinician. And we're bringing to you live once again from the greatest state in the Union, the Tar Heel State. And in this Valentine's Classic, we're going to explore the feelings of love versus the principles of love. And in this show, we're going to talk about critical points to determine, to more or less determine if a woman loves you and the things you need to know so you won't be a victim of emotional abuse and also a victim of manipulation as it relates to gifts and other pleasantries. In this show, we're going to talk about how men need to love themselves and value their principles as it relates to giving our lives for genuine attraction as it relates to a woman. In this show, we're going to circumnavigate some of the things that we talked about in the past in this Valentine's class. And we're going to teach young men and older men what to do when they see these critical elements as it relates to love and romance. So, in the words of Dr. O. McCoy, it's training day and get your mind right. In the words of Dr. Ronald Neal, live out loud as it relates to male empowerment. And of course, I'm your host, Seven Smalls. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. So, Well. So that was just a little fun to start this Valentine's Classic, as this is the 19th episode of the Manhood Chronicles, entitled Ain't Nobody Got Time for That, and the 4 types of love and understanding the importance of love as it relates to relationships. So happy Valentine's Day to the audience. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. And I did this show more or less as a preamble to help men understand that sometimes they're doing too much as it relates to relationships. There are 4 types of love. There's eros, there's storge, there's philia, and there's also agape. Eros love is the love that a man wants from a woman as it relates to his non-sexual, as it relates to his sexual attention. That's the type of love that keeps a woman sustained, that keeps her interested in you. That's the kind of love that a lot of men seek to gain, but some women actually use men as pawns and ploys, more or less, to manipulate them into relationships. A second type of love is storge. That's more of a love that a woman has for her child or son. You don't want to be in that stage. That's the kind of love that your mom gives you. And then another stage is called philia. That's the type of love that relates, more or less to friendship. The friendship love is the love that you see in brotherhood. It's the type of love that, Christ gave. It's also the Apostle Paul from time to time. And then the greatest act of love is agape. That's the type of love that God gives and that God gives to those that he loves. But that type of love is very unconditional. And that's the type of love that you really won't see in modern women. But I did this show as a preamble to Ain't Nobody Got Time for That, the lie that Cupid told, because a lot of men have been conditioned on the idea of romanticism, something has more or less gone away. And a lot of times the things we do to try to get a woman's love and attention, you really don't have to do all of that. When a woman really loves you, and when a woman really values you, you don't have to jump through hoops. You don't have to deal with the games that she might play. She'll just fall in line. So I came up with 7 steps to more or less encapsulate when a woman really loves a man. And then the first one as it relates to women, as it relates to the feelings of love versus the principle of love is this. When a woman really loves a man, she respects and honor him, and also she honors his principles. Masculine respect, the masculine respect is linear, is fixed, and the feminine is electric and circular. When a woman really loves a man, you don't have to worry about her doing things that will cause you to be shamed or embarrassed. One of the first steps of understanding the masculine as it relates to respect is this. When she really loves you and when she really values you, she will try to do everything in her power to understand you and more or less try to see and more or less value the things that you want. You know, a lot of times guys give gifts as it relates to relationships, and they're constantly doing all the giving. But ain't nobody got time for that. Point number two is this. When a woman really loves you, giving gifts to a man comes easy. When a woman is really feeling you, you don't have to worry about buying her gifts all the time. She'll buy them from you. And sometimes she'll keep doing it because she sees you as a value asset. If you're in a relationship as a man, and you're constantly doing all the giving and she's doing all the receiving and she's placing her needs above yours, that's not the woman for you. You need to leave that woman. Ain't nobody got time for that. Point number three, she'll follow your program. When a woman is really in love with you and when she really values you as a man, following your program and following your vision becomes natural to her. There's no cantankerous behavior. There's no arguing. There's no battling for power in the relationship. She'll willingly follow your program because she sees you as a valuable man. Stay away from women that are always trying to argue with you or try to more or less demean you for what you believe in and your principles. And get with women that can get with your program. Get with a woman that can be your cheerleader. Get with a woman that can support you. And get with a woman that will love you even when you don't feel like loving yourself at times. That's principle number three. Principle number four, for ain't nobody got time for that. She won't use shaming language to control you. And she'll back you and love you as it relates to what you believe in. When you got a woman that really loves you, she won't use shaming language like, oh, you're trying to control me. You're insecure. Those are some of the shaming tactics that some women use as it relates to relationships. But when a woman really loves you, you don't have to worry about incessant shaming language. She'll willingly compliment you as it relates to the dynamics of the relationship, and she'll give you the things that you need to help you and her become successful long-term in that relationship. All right. Principle number five, for ain't nobody got time for that. When a woman respects you, you won't have to keep repeating yourself. I think a lot of times, guys, in relationships, you constantly repeat yourself over and over and over again because you're trying to get that affection and attention from a woman. But when a woman really loves a man, you don't have to keep repeating yourself over and over and over again. She will automatically listen to your needs, your wants, and your desires, and she'll automatically fall in line as it relates to the expectations in the relationship. Whereas the relationships are actually balanced, and where relationships are give and take. When you get a woman that really loves you and respects you and honors some of the things that you do, you won't have to keep repeating yourself. Ain't nobody got time for that. Principle number six. When she really loves you, she'll stop talking to other guys and other men. You know, social media has been an enigma for a lot of relationships. A lot of women hold on to men from their past, and some are still communicating with men as a way to keep, quote unquote, their options open. But when a woman is really in love with you, when she's really feeling you, when she's really loving you for the great man that you are, you don't have to worry about her dealing with other men. Actually, when a woman really loves you, she'll even come off social media if you ask her. Because social media, to some women, is an attention grabber. Some women love the input and the attention they get from guys. They might not want the guy, and they'll use the guy for non-sexual attention. But that's one of the things you need to know when a woman really loves you. All right? In this Valentine Classic, principle number 7. She'll do things that a lot of times could be stressful for her. You might ask your woman to get up in the middle of the night and cook you something to eat. And why she doesn't feel like doing it, if she really loves you and values you as a man, it won't be an issue for her to get up in the middle of the night and cook for you. It won't be an issue, even to have sex, as a lot of men are in sexless relationships. And unfortunately, because of that, I think it's impacted relationships long term. All right. Principle number 6. When she really loves you, as it relates to principle, She'll put aside her family for the sake of the relationship and also respect you and respect your boundaries as a man. Meaning, when a woman really loves you, she can have mom, she can have girlfriends or whatnot, but she won't put those women and her girlfriends above her love for her man. She realizes that even though her friends play a vital role in her life, she honors and values her man more than she more or less would value those women or family members that more or less have little to no input in her life. When you get a woman that can do all of these things for you guys, that's a sign that a woman's really crazy about you and a woman really loves you. All right. Now, ain't nobody got time for that as it relates to a man. This is something you guys don't want to ever do in relationships and be this guy, because this is humiliating and degrading to a man. So you don't want to be this guy. I'm about to show you in a minute. All right, hold tight. Te quiero porque quiero que me quieras, porque como tú no hay nadie más. Tranquilo, tranquilo ya. No te merecía, la neta. You definitely want to be that guy. That's the highest form of simping, when you're crying in front of a woman that values another man over you. So that's not someone that you want to more or less be as it relates to a relationship and as it relates to getting a woman's respect. So when a man really loves a woman as it relates to principles, because men do things based on principles, not on feelings. When a man really loves a woman, he'll set other women aside for the sake of the relationship. If a man is used to dealing with multiple women, it's very difficult for him just to set aside all his options unless he's properly vetted you as the woman that he plans to love and to make his number one. When a man really loves a woman, when he really loves a woman, he'll set aside other women and focus solely on you and also the benefits of the relationship. And you'll be his number one priority when a man is really in love. That's the principle of love versus the feelings of love. Because a lot of times women do things based on how they feel, not based on principles. Ain't nobody got time for that. Principle number 2 as it relates to a man falling in love with a woman. He'll shower you with gifts, attention, and give you the things that you need and want. It's nothing he won't do for you. When a man is really in love with a woman, he's very intentional. He's intentional about his time. He's intentional about his money. He's intentional about his resources. He's intentional about everything. You'll never have to guess where his heart is when he's really in love with you. Okay? Ain't nobody got time for that. Principle number 3. When a man is in love with you, he will strive to provide for you and set a vision up for you and your family. Marriage rates are down. A lot of men don't see the benefits of getting married for a myriad of reasons. And when a man is really in love with a woman that he loves and cares about, it's not anything that he wouldn't do as it relates to trying to set vision and trying to make her a priority and also trying to set vision for the family. But a lot of times, because, marriage a lot of times is seen as a financial strain, a lot of men are very reluctant to get married. But when a man is really in love, he'll start planning and he'll start setting aside provision as it relates to making sure that relationship is stable and solidified. As we know that most women are nesters, and financial security and also emotional security is very important to that relationship. When a man loves you, he'll provide for you once again, and also he'll more or less start planning in a more consistent manner. So principle number 4, He'll check his mom if he got to. When a man is really in love with you and when he can separate himself from his mom, he will check his mother if he has to. A lot of times in relationships, men struggle with setting clear and healthy boundaries with their mom because they see their mom as someone that they really love and uphold. But you'll know when a man really loves you and he's not a mama's boy. It's when he will more or less check his mom and he'll put her in place because he values you as an asset and somebody he wants to be on this team. And that's very important as it relates to making a woman feel secure and making a woman feel whole and making a woman feel safe. That's principle number 4. He will check his mom. All right. Principle number 5. He won't forget anniversaries or dates, and he'll do everything in his power to make you happy. When a man is really in love with the woman that he deserves and desires or more or less care about, anniversaries and special times of the year is not an issue for him. He won't have an issue with remembering key dates and more or less making sure that you're happy and making sure he does something romantic for the sake of the relationship. A lot of times, especially in dating, guys do different things for different reasons. And, as a man, you definitely don't want to be being used by a woman that have no intentions for you sexually or emotionally. But when a man feels like he's secure in that relationship and that woman has his best interest, it's not anything that he won't do for her. Providing for her and also setting anniversary dates and making sure she get the things that she desires and wants, it'll come second nature. All right, ain't nobody got time for that. Principle number 6. He'll strive to keep his body fit, and he'll do everything in his power to protect his family. He'll also protect his woman if he have to, and also a man will die for his woman if he have to. That's principle number 6. When a man really loves a woman, it's nothing he won't do for her. He'll die for her if he have to, and he'll make sure he has all the key elements in place that are necessary to make sure that his woman is protected, as men see the women that they love as bone of their bone, or bone of his bone, and flesh of his flesh. All right? Ain't nobody got time for that. Principle number 7. If you're dating a man for a prolonged period of time, and that man hasn't put a ring on your finger, that man doesn't really quite see you as number 1. And he's, unsure if he want to make you his wife long term. He might have feelings for you, and he might see you as somebody that's valuable. But when a man really loves a woman, you don't have to worry about him dating you for, say, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. He'll see enough clarity and value in that relationship that he will start setting aside money and start planning to make you his wife. If you're in a relationship where you've been in that relationship for years and years and on end, then that man is not the one for you. But when a man is really in love with you and when he really values you, it's not anything that he wouldn't do to start planning for a long-term relationship. But remember this, as it relates to relationships, men are very weary of modern relationships because they've seen the negative impact of court systems, paternity fraud, based on the conversation I had last night. And also men are reluctant because they feel like the love and the sex dies once you say I do. But when a man really loves a woman, as principle number 7, he'll make you his wife. So that was just a little short clip from last night. I'm more or less just to have a little fun as it relates to Valentine's Day. It's about 9 minutes after the hour of 4 o'clock. I want you guys to enjoy your Valentine Sunday on this late afternoon. And I want you to, show the man or the woman that you love, giving them attention and the affection that they need. And realize, ladies, if you get married based on the feeling of love, you're going to deceive yourself because love is fleeting. But when you can learn to control your feelings and learn to control and learn to reflect on the things that are important, everything else will take care of itself. Love is fleeting. And if you get married based on love, then you're going to have problems long term. So once again, this is the 19th episode of the Manhood Chronicles entitled, Ain't Nobody Got Time for That, the feelings of love versus the principles of love. Goodbye.